Hello YouTube! Welcome to what is the difference between a for loop and a while loop. So if you're starting out with C programming, you might have the question, why do you have two loops when they are actually almost doing the same thing? So today we're going to discuss their similarities, their differences, and then when should you use for loop and when should you use while loop. So without further ado, let's look at the code. Alright, so here I have pre-written two set of codes. One is actually for.c, which is having a for loop. Let's just make it first. The second set is actually while.c, which is the representation of while loop. So if I were to run for, let's just put in lucky number 7. And if I were to run while, and then put in lucky number 7. So you see the results are the same. So let's look at their similarities. First, we can see that we actually declare the same I, but the I inside the for will be inside the parentheses of the for loop, whereas the I will be declared outside the for loop here. The second thing that we notice is the condition to go into the loop or to continue or not is actually the second argument in the for loop, whereas in the while loop it's just the only argument there. Last but not least, the third argument inside the for loop. So we can see this is actually just a statement inside the while loop. So if we take a look at this, right, we can actually see the first difference that we see is actually the structural difference. So if I don't write this whole statement and this statement, will it have problems? Yes, I think it will. So let's just take a look. Let me just clear this, and then let me just remove this to see if it will work or not. So if I were to take this out and still define integer I equals to 0 outside, let me just put it here so that the thing is still okay. So if I were to make 4, so you see now here it says that it expects something there, so it's actually incorrect. I mean, if I were to hack this to make this work, it is still possible, but what's the point? I mean, I can do it this way. If I were to just make 4, it still work. But 4 is not designed for that way. Why? Because 4 is designed for you to go to an element to another element, or to actually have predictable increment or decrement when you are going through each iteration. So if you're actually having everything in one line, imagine if you have a very long line of code, you can just look at the for statement here and understand what is the starting point, what is the condition for it to continue, and then what happens when the whole thing ends. So I mean that you can make it work this way, but if you are going to use it this way, please use a for loop. So let me just put it back first. So let me just put it back first. Okay. So then, now the question is this. So when should you use a for loop and when should you use a while loop? So a very good example I would say is a factorial. So let's say if you actually have a factorial is like when you actually put a number, the number will times the number itself minus 1. Let's say that the factorial of 3. Let me just type it here. So if 3 factorial, it means that it will actually 3 will times 2 times 1. So if you notice, this actually fit for loop very well because every iteration, the number will actually reduce by 1. So let's write a quick code and implement this so that I could show you when should you use a for loop and when should you use a while loop. So now let's just use number minus 1. So because I want to start with, let's say if it's 3, 3 should minus 2, okay? So I should be more than, not number, I think I should be more than 0 because you're not going to times 0. And then I should be minus minus, okay? So now what will happen here is that num will actually times equal, will be times equal I, because this is actually the same as num equals to num times 1. It's just syntactic sugar. So I'm just going to simplify that. So now if I were to just go for, let's say printf. So result %i slash n, comma, num. Let's see if I have made any mistake or not. Make 4. So dot slash 4. Let's see, just now our example was 3. 3 times 2 times 1 should be 6. Okay, so this is a factorial. So just to make sure that my calculation is correct, let me just pull up a calculator. Try factorial. Do I have factorial here? Yes. So let's just try 10 factorial. Okay, so it's 3, 6, 2, 8, 800. So let's just try one more time. So 10. So now we have implemented factorial. So as you can see, the thing here, right, because every step will actually decrease in a predictable way. So if that's the case, please use a for loop, because a for loop will enable you to read all the conditions easily. So it will actually separate your main logic of how to repeat the things out from your logic of what you really want to do. So like this part is the logic of what I really want to do. We will separate that out. So it's easier for you to read the code. So next, when should we use a while loop? So let's just change, let me just clear this. So let's just change this example to an example where we are actually at a bank, okay? So let's just say that we are going to clear this out. Let's just say that I'm actually having a bank account with 1,000 balance, okay? So as a bank, you don't want people to actually withdraw more than they should. So let's just say that we are going to have balance. If our balance is more than 0, so you will still be able to withdraw the thing. So let me just change this to a question. How much would you like to withdraw? How much would you like to withdraw? So how much would you like to withdraw? Then we are going to create an integer called withdrawal. So then we are going to scan this. Scan f, then %i, comma, withdrawal. Okay. So now, then if balance minus withdrawal is less than 0. So we are actually going to tell the user that the withdrawal is actually over the limit. Withdrawal exceeded balance of. So I'm going to actually go for %i /n. So let me just print out the balance. So the user will be able to actually see what they should do. So if it doesn't go overdraft, I will let the user, I have a small mistake here, scan F. I'll let the user withdraw it. So balance minus equal withdrawal. Oh my god. Okay. So then after this, I could actually just come down here and then print balance and %i /n. So I just go for balance. Aha, I have another syntax error here. So let's just try and make this program. Withdrawal. My bad. So let's just try one more time. Okay, so now let's just say that when I actually execute while, so I know that my balance in the bank is actually 1,000. I can try and let's say withdraw 500. So I know that I have 500 left. So let's just see that if I were to withdraw 600, it says that it exceeded it. So let's try and actually withdraw the whole thing until the balance is 0. So let's say if I were to withdraw 500, now the balance is 0 and I'm done. So you should use a while loop when you are actually not sure during the process, every step, what is the reduction. So this one will actually be able to help you to be more flexible in terms of the reduction, like in this bank withdrawal scenario. So because if you are to actually use for to write, yes, you can write it in the way that you take the thing out, but what's the point? So they're designed to actually use in different ways for different scenarios. So in short, if you are actually going through certain numbers that actually increase or decrease at a predictable pace, use for loop. But if you just only care about checking the condition if it's correct or not, use a while loop. So this is actually the difference between while loop and for loop and when should you use them. So if you have any question, please feel free to actually comment. Leave me some comments. And if you have any suggestions, please comment. And if you like my video, please subscribe to my video. And if not, there's other videos that you can check out. So I'll see you guys next video. Take care, stay safe, bye.